spawning over here on the right side of our screen. The blue Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is, of course, HerO. And yay, HerO! Woo. And his opponent over here on the left side, the red Terran. It is Dignitas Sjow. And Kev, I have to ask, who do you think is going to take this series?
Yeah, you have to ask me that, and I'm going for the obvious answer, Ben. Despite Sjow's impressive performance last week against Dimaga, I think Liquid HerO is going to take it. I love his PvT style in general. He looks very solid, and I can only imagine that he's been practicing this matchup a ton, since he did have to play last night against the OGS Supernova. I do not want to talk about the results, guys, because maybe a few of you guys watch us and also want to watch us GSL VODs later on, so I'm not going to talk about it, but obviously when HerO has a Code S quarterfinal against a Terran player, you can imagine him to be in excellent shape against Terran, so I'm going for HerO. Yeah,
I can't disagree with you there. He's one of the best Protoss players on the planet. As you mentioned, he's gone very far in the GSL this season without giving away any results. He's gone very far in the GSL this season, and he is certainly going to be a favorite here against Sjow. So I'm also going to put my money on HerO to take this first game, as we see Sjow opening up with a fairly fast gas.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. Maybe Sjow wants to go for a 1-on-1. Maybe he doesn't feel confident to go against HerO in a macro game, or he just wants to switch it up a little bit, and instead of going for the no gas fast expand, which is an opening that we see oh so often, he just wants to throw HerO off and then still go for sort of a bio expand play. But I'm kind of expecting 1-on-1 also because dual side is probably the smallest map that we still have in our map pool. So if you want to go 1-on-1, then you probably want to do it on dual side, despite this map not being as hard as other maps in the past. Because as I pointed out in previous cast, if a 1-on-1 push occurs over here, you could always get a pylon over here, warp in a few zealots, and if you sandwich a 1-on-1 army, that's always the best way to deal with it.
Couldn't agree more, Kev. As we see that Barracks relocating a little bit, perhaps for an add-on. And also a second gas going down for Sjow. So this is a very, very hard teching build. It's looking more and more like that 1-1-1 that you were talking about, as HerO is still just on the one gas. He's probably going to want to be expanding pretty soon.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a Cloak Banshee opening by Sjow, and then of course he could still expand behind that as well, even though this is the less economic version of the Cloak Banshee build, since the one with the quick orbital in your main base and then going off for Cloak Banshees has been more popular as of late. And I also feel that's the better build out of the two. But we'll see. It's hard to say what Sjow is going to pull off. We do see a reactor right now. He's going to produce at least one Hellion. The Hellion is in production right now. But I do not think that he's going for medevac Hellion play when he goes for double refinery. That seems a little bit unlikely.
Man, Sjow is a guy that that does what he's going to do. He's said for years now that you don't need to scout until that first Hellion's out.
That is true.
And now he's going to leave the base with that first Hellion.
So I always said it doesn't really matter what I face anyway. It doesn't change anything. So why would I send out that first SFV? A lot of players, of course, have always disagreed with that because there are certain things that you just much rather scout a little bit quicker. For instance, if he would get Void Ray or Lint right now, it would be pretty ugly without a bunker.
Yeah, or even something as simple as a proxy though, with his wall there. Something like that shouldn't be too terribly scary. Hellion will not even get up the ramp, so even the Hellion doesn't manage a good scout, Kev.
Really good control there by HerO, having Stalkers in excellent position. He's going for that 3-gate. Ooh.
HerO's going to do, I think, something aggressive here. He's already got 2 proxy pylons down.
If Sjow goes for Cloak, it's going to be really nice for him because the robotics facility is going to be quite a bit delayed. But even if HerO doesn't go for Cloak, even if Sjow doesn't go for Cloak, if he spots this in time, if the Banshee's not out of out of the area or like out of range of this attack, he should be fine. He's going to get a siege tank too. As long as he keeps his wall up, I think Sjow should be fine. He has plenty of Marines, he has a reactor, but he needs to bring SCVs right now, man.
He does need to bring SCVs right now, as we got the first attack happening right here on his ramp. That Zealot doing absolutely nothing. A lot of Marines and SCVs out.
Sjow.
And yeah, that's a great fight for Sjow. This isn't really working. This is just 3 gates for HerO. Did I count wrong? No, it is only 3 gates. So this is just a very aggressive 1-base 3-gate build.
He does have 26 probes though, so he's definitely not all in. So be careful with that Banshee Sjow, but now with that siege tank out, it's going to be a lot easier for Sjow, because these unsieged tanks have so much DPS. HerO knows this is not going to work anymore, that's why he's dropping the Nexus as well. But he has to be a little bit afraid. He's like, oh no, what if Sjow would have Cloak right now, Ben?
Yeah, it would be nearly game-ending, Kev, to be quite frank. But he skipped it this time in favor of getting those tanks out.
We did not mention it, by the way, guys, but in case you did see the live timer before we went live, this game is being played live right now, so it's kind of late for Sjow. But all the Europeans play at least 1 or 2 live games in seasons. And that, of course, is only at the games that it really suits them. We do not want to force them to play too many live games, but a couple of them should be possible. And Sjow said today he was able to play live, so there we go.
There you go, indeed. And I'm wondering, with this really aggressive opening from HerO, Kev, do you think he's going to be able to defend when Sjow finally moves out?
I'm really, I don't know, with 5-6 gates, it's going to be tough, no doubt. And that first attack really didn't do that much. And it's 31 army supply right now. This is a scary army for Sjow. And I actually think this looks way better than anyone ever thought that this was going to look for Sjow. HerO drops a force field, but it's not a perfect force field.
Yeah, the Marines get down, and they do have Banshees supporting. Sentry's going to get picked off. And as soon as that force field expires, I think we're going to see Sjow moving out.
The good thing for HerO is, though, Ben, he has pilots all around the map. And that's actually going to allow him, the moment that Sjow moves out, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he wipes in 1, 2, or even 3 Zealots and walks him to Sjow's main base. Because that really takes the power out of Sjow's reinforcements.
I'll keep my eye on this pylon then just to see if it does in fact happen. Sjow already well across the map, and HerO's warp in was in fact a defensive one.
And we often say that MC is a really bold Protoss who loves to take risk. But what about HerO, man? He didn't even make a robotics facility despite seeing a Banshee so early on. He's just banking on the fact Sjow does not have Cloak.
He's also going to be attacking from a couple of, well, what is he doing? He's careless with these Stalkers here, left in a really awkward spot. Loses 1, takes out, loses 2 even. Does manage to
pick up a 6-stack and a Banshee, but in return he's going to lose 1 more Stalker.
Those SCVs are out for blood.
Hellion gets
the Hellion that gets the
Hellion
kill.
is pretty good in catching Stalkers because the shields cannot regenerate. They will always get a shot off. Still, HerO doing a pretty good job at delaying this push from Sjow, but still this army of Sjow is just a lot stronger. HerO's going to need excellent control.
Yeah, on siege tanks do so much damage. SCVs do a great job of absorbing damage. HerO is really trying to buy time and be patient, but now the bunkers are going down, and this natural is coming under fire in a big way.
Yeah, but with those Zealots, I think he might be fine. He's going to pick up that Banshee as well. Those Zealots and Stalkers coming in from behind. Oh my God, HerO.
You're right. HerO with the big surround Stalkers from both sides, and Sjow taps out. GG. Oh, that's a little bit surprising for me. I thought certainly after that weird opening that he was too far behind to mount a defense there, but he did it.
He did a really good job in saving time with those Stalkers, and despite that might look rather easy, it's not at all, because the Banshees have so much DPS and also those tanks that normally every time you get in range, 1 Stalker takes a lot of damage, and that's why you don't really see that all that often, just because you can lose Stalkers left and right, and you can end up losing 3-4 Stalkers before the fight even begins. But well, HerO, absolute ridiculous control, and he did it really well. Maybe this kind of stuff has to do a little bit with the mindset as well, because often when you feel like you're such a big underdog, you feel that everything your opponent is going to do, he's going to do the exact thing that you don't want to, and then maybe it's more effective than it was. But that was beautiful control by HerO, and as you said, Ben, it looked really promising for Sjow, but wasn't able to execute it.
Yeah, tough break for Sjow there in the first game. He will have the map choice going into game 2. First map was brought to you by Epson Projectors. Epson.com/projectors for all the details on your own high-definition projector. Guys, we're going to play a very short commercial, and then we'll be back with a lot more action. Sjow versus HerO Game 2 after this.